fourth graders, and welcome back. I am Mrs. Lamondo here to bring you our next lesson in our New Hampshire unit. Today we are going to explore some of the famous people who have come from our great state. Let's get started. So first, let's start with our activists. Over on the left is Mary Baker Eddy from Bow. She founded the Christian Science religion in 1879. To the right is Elizabeth Gurley Flynn from Concord. She helped found the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, which protects the rights of all Americans to this day. Let's check out some athletes. Over on the left is Bodie Miller, a skier from Easton. He has 6 Olympic medals, more than any other skier. He is considered one of the best skiers in the world. In the middle is Triple H, a wrestler from Nashua. He continues to work for the WWE. And over on the right is Scotty Lago from Seabrook. He won a bronze medal for snowboarding in the 2010 Olympics. Let's check out some writers. On the left is Eleanor Porter from Littleton. She wrote the book Pollyanna, which was later made into a Disney movie. In the middle is Bob Montana from Manchester. He created the Archie comic strip based on his high school classmates. And over on the right is J.D. Salinger from Cornish. He is most famous for writing the great American novel, Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye is considered one of the greatest pieces of American literature to this day, and he came from New Hampshire. Let's check out some inventors. Over on the left is Earl Tupper from Berlin. He invented Tupperware, the plastic containers many people store food in. Over on the right is Dean Kamen from Bedford. He invented the Segway and holds over 150 patents for his other inventions. The Segway is kind of that scooter-looking thing. Oftentimes you see security at the mall on them or at different events. He invented that, and he hails from our great state of New Hampshire. Let's check out some comedians. Way over on the left, Adam Sandler comes from Manchester. He started on Saturday Night Live and moved on to many movies since then. In the middle is Sarah Silverman from Bedford. She has done stand-up comedy, movies, and television shows. And on the right is Seth Meyers, also from Bedford. He starred on Saturday Night Live and currently hosts a late-night talk show. Let's check out some writers. Over on the left, my favorite, John Irving is a famous author from Exeter. He has written over 30 novels, and a couple of them have been made into Oscar-winning movies. In the middle is Sarah Josepha Hale from Newport. She wrote the nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb. She also petitioned President Abraham Lincoln to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. So when we're enjoying that 5-day weekend in November, we can thank Sarah Josepha Hale for that. And way over on the right is Robert Frost, a famous poet who lived in Derry. We saw his farmhouse when we checked out historical sites. He wrote all about New Hampshire. 2 of his famous poems are Stopping by the Woods and The Road Less Traveled. Here are some publishers. Over on the left, William Loeb lived in Manchester. There, he created and published the Manchester Union Leader. Over on the right is Horace Greeley from Amherst. He founded and published the New York Tribune, a famous newspaper of the 1800s. Let's talk about some politicians. Over on the left is Daniel Webster from Salisbury. He was a lawyer, orator, Secretary of State, and advocate of American nationalism. We saw his statue last time as a monument outside our State House. In the middle is William P. Fessenden from Boscawen. He was very influential in politics and served as a U.S. Senator from 1854 to 1964 and again from 1865 to 1869. And on the right is Salmon P. Chase from Cornish. He was Secretary of the Treasury in 1863 when the first green dollar bill was made. He later went on to become a Supreme Court Justice. We remember from our government unit that Supreme Court justices are appointed for life. And the most famous politician to ever come from New Hampshire, President Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce was born in Hillsborough and became the 14th President of the United States. He was charismatic and well-spoken. At this point in time, the country was deeply divided over the issue of slavery. As president, he was a polarizing figure. That means people loved him or they hated him. There really wasn't a middle ground. And made many unpopular decisions, like signing the Kansas-Nebraska Act and enforcing the Fugitive Slave Act. He served one term as president. The Kansas-Nebraska Act allowed the territories of Kansas and Nebraska to determine whether or not they would allow slavery in their states once they became states. This upset Northerners who felt that he should enforce no slavery there. The Fugitive Slave Act is one of the darkest pieces of American legislation. The Fugitive Slave Act said that if an escaped slave was found, even in a free state, they were to be returned to their master. This would often result in the death of that person. President Franklin Pierce enforced it, meaning he upheld it. He didn't write it, but he upheld it. He didn't take a stance against it, which made him very unpopular. He ultimately served one term as president. So today we're going to show what we know in our New Hampshire slideshow by adding some famous people from New Hampshire onto slide F. So in Google Classroom, you are going to open up the doc that says NH Slideshow Lesson 11. You're going to choose 3 people who you want to include on your slideshow. I always like to pick 3 in a row because I think it's easier to copy and paste that way, but you don't have to do it like that. I think I'm going to go with these 3. Oopsie. So I'm going to do Control C to copy. I then go into my slideshow on slide 7. Is F for famous people. I click where it says click to add text, and I press Control V to paste. Can you do more than 3? Sure, but I wouldn't do a lot more than 3 because later on, once we have all of our information added, we will be adding pictures to our slideshow, and we want to make sure that we have plenty of room for those. All right, 4th graders, that's all for today. After you add your famous people to your slideshow, you are all set. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to check in with your teacher. We are here to help. All right, 4th graders, until next time, see you then. Bye.